All praises to the Most High Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS who will well. Shalom to the hopeful elect. As you can see here from the news title, it says COVID-19 UK volunteers to be deliberately exposed to C in world first trial. And made a comment on the elder apostles live, and I'm saying things are gonna go from bad to worse to devastating, which, if you look at how things are working out, that's pretty much how things are going. Let's just start this
to allow volunteers to be exposed to COVID-19 as part of a research trial to increase our understanding of how the virus affects people. As many as 90 volunteers aged between 18 and 30 are said to be taking part. Our reporter Becky Cottrell has more of the detail. I mean, this is fascinating, but one wonders who on earth is going to be putting themselves up for this trial.
Yeah, will you say that?
Well, he says one has to wonder because common sense, is gonna basically tell you that that's not a good idea. Why would you purposely want to be infected with something? That doesn't make any sense.
But actually what they're looking at with this study, they're actually going to expose the volunteers to the original form of the virus that really started to circulate here in March 2020. And that original form of the virus is seen to be less dangerous to adults between kind of 18 to 30. And those are the people that the researchers want to take part in the study. As you say, it's a first of its kind. It's called a human challenge study, and it basically involves deliberately exposing volunteers to COVID. Now, that isn't a new model. It's been done before with malaria and typhoid, but it is the first time it's been done with COVID. And the reason it's taken us so long to get to this point that the trial is now coming into effect within the month is because of those clear ethical concerns around deliberately exposing people to the virus. They'll try and make it as safe as possible. The volunteers will be studied 24 hours a day by medical professionals. And what they're really trying to look at is how the immune system responds to the virus, but also what's going on with vaccines. And they'll be using different vaccines that have been approved to see which is most effective at helping the volunteers to cope with COVID. And this really is a vital research at a time when we're trying to learn not only how the virus works and what's going on with different mutations, but also as the government is looking to ease lockdown measures.
That's just them saying they're gonna ease lockdown is just another piece of waffle that they're offering people. And if you talk to most people, they're gonna class you as weird or a conspiracy theorist and all these little buzzwords that the mainstream media has basically used to make it seem that whoever is thinking critically about what's going on, who has a religious belief, quote unquote, is adverse to this world, because this world is just basically a base, and if you're not trying to be in that crowd, you're gonna be ostracized from the group basically. And these people are crazy. And this is John 15:19. If you were of the world would love his own. I'm going to start at 16. Ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you, and ordained you that ye should go and bring forth fruit, and that your fruit should remain, that that whatsoever ye shall ask of the Father in my name, he may give it to you. These things I command you, that ye love one another. If the world hate you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you. If you were of the world would love his own, but because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. Remember the word that I said unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also. But all these things will they do unto you for my name's sake, because they know not him that sent me. If I had not come and spoken unto them, they had not sinned. But now they have no cloak for their sin. So he's just gonna carry on, because at the end of the day, the word has gone out. And anybody who's been in this truth and then left, you're pretty much, you're in Alaska with nothing on. You're naked, you're just left to the elements. This is 1 John 2:15. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, is not of the Father, but is of the world. And the world passeth away, and the lust thereof. But he that doeth the will of Yahweh abideth forever. Little children, is the last time, and as ye have heard that Antichrist shall come, even now are there many Antichrists, all these false teachers, talking about, marriage is a certificate, whereby we know that it is the last time. So this is the last, persecution that Israel is going to face. This is the last captivity that Israel is in. The last persecution is really going to be, the MOTB, when everything hits the fan, and Jacob's trouble gets into full gear. That's going to be the last persecution, and it's going to be the worst. Even the prophet said, protect me in that time, paraphrasing. This is 1 Corinthians 1:2-7. But Yahweh have chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise, and Yahweh have chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty. So, the men of the Lord, by these people's standards, don't have any degrees, don't have any PhDs, don't have any qualifications, but you can use your simple common sense and know that, infecting yourself with a CV is not a good idea. I mean, would it make sense to you if I told you had to roll around in shit just so I can clean you off? You just say, well, wouldn't it be a better idea to not roll around in shit, to not be needing to be cleaned off in the first place? So the things that these people say and do, it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. But people of the world believe these people because these people are actually stupid. Now, I've seen people take, the VAC or the VAX, and you're still wearing a mask. I thought the whole point was of taking a VAC, was that you wouldn't need to wear a mask. But they're telling you have the vax and you're still not protected from these new strands. So every single time you reach a goalpost, they just go ahead and move the goalpost. So it's just a never-ending game that he is playing, and these people fall for it because they're stupid. 1 Peter 2:9. But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, an holy nation, a peculiar people, that ye should show forth the praises of him who have called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. So if you're following these words, you're a peculiar people, according to the perspective of most people. And if you look into the English definition of peculiar, it says different to what is normal or expected, strange. So anyone who's preoccupied in this word and seeking the Lord's statutes and commandments is strange to most people, but most people are stupid. I have this saying: most people are stupid, and you're most people. Most people are most people, even though most people say most people, even though they are most people. So it doesn't even make any sense. And if you look into the second definition, it says particular, special. So if you go into the blue letter definition, there's 3 definitions, and the first one is, I believe, is segula. This is peculiar treasure. So the elect are peculiar treasure to the Most High, peculiar, special, jewel. When it says you're the jewel of my eye, is out the apple of my eye. Particular treasure. And if you look into the last definition, this is periposis, purchase, possession. The hopeful elect are a possession of the Most High, to obtaining, saving, peculiar. So that's what these words mean, But when you speak to most people, you're strange because you don't want E, who has a long history of poisoning and killing and raping and murdering your people, to play experimental games on you. Luke 6:26. Woe unto you when all men shall speak well of you, for so did their fathers to the false prophets. So at the end of the day, you don't want to be held in high regard by most of these people, because most of these people don't have a clue what's going on. You can see by how they walk around. Even today, I was walking, and you're walking down the road, and this woman was walking in front of me, and she was just walking zigzag. I've gone to overtake her. I've gone on her right to overtake her because she's walking in the same in the same direction as me. Then she started walking on her right. Then then I've gone to the left. She's gone to the left. It's like she's just walking all over the pavement and she's looking at her phone. She's just completely oblivious to what's going on around her. So I've cut to the left to get past her, and as I'm walking past her, her hand has ended up brushing me, and she's like, "Oi, like, watch where you're walking." And I'm thinking to myself, "You're the one on the phone. You're walking all over the pit. You're not even walking in a straight line. And then when I touch you by trying to walk past you, you're telling me that I should watch where I'm walking." This is how stupid these people are. They're in their own world, and the only people the only information that they seem to listen to is from the news. You know what I mean? RT News, BBC News, ITV News, whatever mainstream bullcrap that these people are saying. That's the only thing, relevant to these people, even though it contradicts all good and common sense. So these people are, they're completely lost, man. Isaiah 33:6, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of Yahweh is his treasure. So, wisdom and knowledge, which comes from the scriptures, shall be the stability of thy times. And these people are not stable because they're just going backwards and forwards, because he is going backwards and forwards. He contradicts himself all the time. So if you're going to pertain onto these people and follow what they're saying, that means that you yourself are actually going to be a contradiction. Because as it says, can two walk together unless agreed? So you are agreeing with this man when you're following all his mandates, even though they contradict each other and they don't make any medical sense whatsoever. Even I was on a bus today, and it's got this message on the window, and it says, "Please open a window." Now, it's not as cold as America from what I'm gleaning from the news in America, but it's pretty cold over here. So you're on a bus, all the windows are open, and it's absolutely freezing, but you want good circulation because being in enclosed spaces by these people is going to help spread COVID. So now all these people are freezing on the bus, which is actually, you get on a bus, you're thinking, "Oh, I'm going to be warm when I get on the bus," but you get on a bus and it's just basically like an open container. You're just traveling through and you're freezing on the bus. So obviously all of these things, especially with the mask on, you're messing up people's immune system. And like I said earlier today on during Branch's live, they closed the gym down. So this basically isn't about making people have optimal health, because you're doing things that are actively compromising their immune systems. You're not allowing people to go to the gym. You're stopping them from getting food by these forced and planned famines, because it is when you're not allowing people to bring food into the country and you're making farmers throw away food. It doesn't make any. What they're doing is a contradiction to one that is completely adverse and counterproductive to saying you want to help people when you're putting people out of work by forcing, when you're forced closing the economy. So everything that they're doing is a contradiction to the things that they're saying. And this is a saying by Nikola Tesla. And when you look into his story, he was into the scriptures. His mother told him, the best thing you can do is read the Bible. So he grew up reading the Bible, and it says antisocial behavior is a trait of intelligence in a world full of conformists. Now, he was a very intelligent man, even though in his later years the guy was talking to a pigeon. But when you speak to most people, you're probably better off speaking to a pigeon, because most of these people are bird brains anyway. So even it shows that when you live in a world where everybody is conforming to information that is contradictory to common sense, you're best heading off the other way. But to these people, you're a fool. And I always have this this thought that, if you live in a country and everybody's arm is cut off at birth, and you're born and your parents hide your way, so you end up with two hands or two arms. When you grow up and you're gonna be around these people, because they have one arm, they're gonna be looking at you like there's something wrong with you. Like you're going to stick out to these people, even though you're perfectly in your natural state. So these people are so far from normal and in their natural state that when you're trying to go back to a natural state of being and living, that you seem weird to these people, because these people are just absolutely gone in their head. There's just a couple more scriptures. I won't read that. Wisdom crieth without, she uttereth her voice in the streets. She crieth in the chief places of concourse, in the openings of the gates. In the city she uttereth her words, saying, How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. All praise to the Most High Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. Shalom to the elders and apostles of James who rule well. Shalom to the elect.